Adamah and Liam's Love and Retribution Part 6. Tekoa looked infuriated. She said, "Frustration consumed me, but I have to repeat, due to Liam's characteristic behavior, he has the propensity to do it again. So aware of your past relationship with him, I feel constrained to tell you to stop it before it gets out of hand. But, hey, who am I to warn you, since you are not listening anyway? I no longer oppose your desire to be with him, but Ada, you need deliverance. I must remind you that what you try to do is a sin. God is, perhaps, very disappointed in you. I apologize for interfering in your life and endeavoring to reason with you." She got up, left her half-eaten food, and then took her pocketbook to depart. Looking at Adamah, she nodded as if pitying her. Everyone called Tekoa to return, but she walked away, opened the door, and left the restaurant. The ladies shrugged and continued enjoying their meal without Tekoa. For the next 24 hours, no one contacted Adamah because they wanted her to think or to live her life as she saw fit. She, in turn, wanted no interference from the ladies, so she avoided all contact with them, especially Tekoa, because Liam was coming, yet she didn't want to lose the ladies' friendship. According to the airplane's itinerary, if there were no delay, it would land at 11:15. Adamah drove to pick him up. She had some trepidation about accepting Liam's visit. Going into the kitchen, she made his favorite brunch food, Caesar's salad, fried yellow plantain, baked potatoes, fried meat, and made a bowl of fruit salad, and refrigerated the salads, but put the fried foods in the oven to keep warm when they came back from the airport. And then, she set the table before taking a shower. At about 10:45, she was ready to drive to the airport. It would take less than 20 minutes. Liam came with a big smile, embraced her, and said, "I couldn't stay away. I told you if you continued to care for me as you did, I'd be returning, so here I am." Adamah smiled and said, "Welcome back." "So, my care brought you back. That was the second reason which brought me back," he said smilingly. She looked at him for a brief moment and said, "I understand. How was your trip?" "It was good. I went to work with my carry-on, so I didn't have to return home to get it." "Why?" she asked with wordless bearing. "I wanted to come to you in a good mood." Adamah looked at him questioningly. He said she would probably be at home in the morning. To avoid an unconcerned look or implied facial expression, I rather left work and went straight from work to the airport. Besides, the airport is not far from the hospital. Therefore, it was a win-win situation. "Okay, but I don't understand what happened between you and your wife that made you both behave like two enemies in a war zone. Isn't it obvious to her, or is she blatantly ignoring the frequent flying that you aren't happy? Or perhaps she's not concerned about your whereabouts or has completely given up on the marriage?" Glancing at him, she asked, "What was the foundation of your marriage? Wasn't God in your midst?" Looking at Adamah, Liam said, "Please, Ada, do not spoil my mood." "Okay." She smiled and asked, "Have you suspected her of having an affair?" Liam nodded. "I gave her credit. She would never do that because she is too proud of herself." Adamah smiled and said, "Liam, this is the second time in a week you have flown to be in my nest." Smiling, he said, "I told you, I like being with you. I got it. So, what do you want to do this weekend besides eat and sleep?" Smiling, he said, "What I want to do is be with you and have peace of mind. I thank you for being so amazing." They talked all the way to their destination. Adamah opened the door for them. He stepped in first and said, "Wow. It smelled delicious. How do you know that's what I wanted?" "I noticed that you liked it when I made it," she said, locking the door. "What are your favorite foods?" Instead of replying to her query, he smiled, entered Adamah's room, and put his luggage in a corner. She nodded because he'd done what he had done the first time he had visited her. She watched him, perhaps, with myriad questions going through her mind. He said, "I'll talk to you about that later. I'm going to take a shower and change first." "Okay. You already know where everything is in the house. The clothing you left in the hamper is in one of the drawers on your left. I'll be in the kitchen if you need me." By the time Liam returned, she had already put the food on the table, and the dessert was chilling in the fridge. "Wow, the table looks beautiful as always, and I'm hungry as always. I didn't have breakfast this morning, so feed me." Adamah and Liam reconnected. Just a few weeks would not seem funny to some, but it would be hilarious to them. He pulled the chair out for her. She gave a tacit thank you as he sat and reached for the salad. You came here straight from work, but did you take a nap during your flight? He nodded. I understand that you will sleep for about an hour after brunch. Looking at her plate, he said, please, put more food on your plate. Smiling, he said, yes, I'm exhausted. I want to go take a nap. Okay, for both, she said, smiling. It will be like the last time, eat and then go to sleep. I cannot help it. I worked 16 hours and I haven't rested yet. I know, I was just teasing you. Sleep is burning my eyes. I'll eat the rest of the food for dinner. So, you are abandoning your favorite meal for sleep. You've only eaten a few morsels of food. Well, if you are tired, go on to sleep. It's still early, you'll eat when you wake up. Thank you, Liam said, and got up and kissed her cheek. I'll see you later, he said. He walked to the bathroom and then to the bedroom. Less than 5 minutes later, he was snoring. Adamah went into the dining room to tidy up, then into the kitchen and did likewise. Going into the living room, Adamah recalled that Alucci was screaming about a movie she'd seen. Adamah recalled the title and decided to watch it. It was a thrilling tale of love, betrayal, courage, forgiveness, and the overcoming of a husband's double life. The movie was good. However, Adamah wondered whether she would be as forgiving as that lady. Surfing YouTube, she found another movie, hoping it would be as satisfying as the first. After the second movie, it was about 6 o'clock, but Liam was still asleep. She went into the kitchen to fix dinner while he remained asleep, but a few minutes later, Liam went into the kitchen and stood behind her, like he always did. Oh, you up? Yes, I am. I was exhausted. Smiling, he asked, I've always snored when I'm tired. Did I snore aloud while sleeping? Adamah smiled and asked, what do you think? Are you joking, or are you telling me the truth? So, stop asking questions. Allow me to cook, he asked patiently, where's my food? I hope you've preserved it. It doesn't matter what you are cooking because I want my leftovers for dinner, it's there. I thought you would like something else. Thank you, but no, I want my leftovers. You know how much I like what you prepared for brunch. Okay, if that's what you want, I'll get it together for you in a moment. Reaching for goblets, dishes, and utensils, Adamah looked at him questioningly. She said, I want to fix the table for dinner. Please, go watch television or something. I'll handle it, thank you. Do you mind if I keep you company and learn to cook simultaneously? Ha ha ha. You, Liam, learn to cook? It's okay. By the way, you said you'd let me know what you like. So, what are they? Smiling, he said, it's for me to know, but you will find out when you cook. After dinner, Adamah and Liam sat on the couch watching The Runaways, a movie about African Americans in the South. They had decided to watch another film, but Liam fell asleep in the middle of the movie. Adamah watched until the end. At about 11:20, she woke him up to go to bed. Wake up, sleepy head. You fell asleep while watching the movie. Get up, it's time to go to bed. Wow, I apologize because I fell asleep during the movie. It's okay, I knew you were tired. He rubbed her shoulder and walked to Adamah's bedroom. She turned off the television set and walked into her bedroom, but at this time, Liam was in her bathroom. She took her pajamas and said, "Good night, Liam," but he didn't answer, perhaps because of the running water. She stepped out of her bedroom and entered the guest bathroom after her shower, got dressed to go to bed, and opened the bathroom door. She heard Liam's voice. Ada, where are you? I'm here. I didn't hear you, I apologize. Do you need anything? Now, they stood in front of the guest room. I thought you were in the living room or the kitchen, but you weren't. How can I help you? I'm going to sleep. Okay, he started walking to go into Adamah's bedroom. Adamah said, "Good night." He looked at her and asked, "Are you not sleeping in your bedroom?" She smiled as she stated pleasantly, "Someone claimed my bedroom. Stop being so childish, Ada. Didn't we sleep together in the bed before? We are grown," he said, smiling, "or maybe you are scared of what might happen." Not at all. So, stop being so silly, come to bed. She stood before Liam and said, "Don't you think it would be best if we distanced ourselves by sleeping in different rooms? Remember, you are a married man, so stop trying to make it seem okay to sleep together." "Ada, you are the most loving and caring woman I know," smiling, he said, "a part of my mom, that is. You are loving and understanding and nurturing." Smiling, he said, "I came here to be with you. If you don't want to sleep in the same bed as me, we can talk in the living room. I don't mind sleeping on a chair, and you can sleep on the couch." After hearing what he said, Adamah followed him to the living room in her pajamas and robe. They talked about the city and different subjects until 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, Adamah was tired and said, "I think I have to go to bed." "Okay, I'll follow you." Adamah was in a dilemma. She entered her bedroom, but Liam followed her. Smiling, she sat in the bed and said timidly, "Good night. I know you are tired, I'll try not to move too much on the bed." "Good night, Ada," smiling, he said, "I'll try not to snore too much. Ha 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 ha. You are so funny, Liam, I like that. I'll try not to snore too much, but you can't help it, babe. In that case, I'll apologize even before I sleep to start snoring." He lay beside her, embraced her waist, and said, "Come closer to me. I want to snore in your ear." "Hey, hold it, tiger." While freeing herself from him, she said, "Liam, I love you. I don't want to lose your friendship, but I don't want to lose my relationship with God. He is the world to me, so I would like to be physically detached from you. The enemy already has plans for us, but we must fight him. Though I love you and want us to stay friends, my relationship with God is worth everything. Have a good night, Liam." He disregarded everything she said. Getting off the bed, he went to the side of her bed, crouched down, and said while smiling, "Ada, are you afraid that I might touch you inappropriately, or are you afraid that I might get aggressive toward you while I'm in your bed, in your bedroom, and in your own home? Babe, I'm not the sort of person to approach a woman without her consent. Are you so insecure about our friendship? I should hope not, because I think we are comfortable enough to snuggle together without resentment. Relax and let us enjoy each other's company. Besides, when snuggling, I don't snore," he said, walking around the bed and beside her. He put his arm around her and snuggled with her. His manly fragrance was overwhelming her nostrils. Adamah lay there still, attempting not to remember or feel Liam's arm around her waist, but how could she? Adamah managed to say, "Good night, Liam." "Good night, babe." Lying down quietly, in less than 5 minutes, he was already sleeping. She took the opportunity to disentangle herself. He was so fast asleep that he didn't even know if Adamah had disengaged his arm from her waist. In the middle of the night, Liam drew her cozily under his stomach as he had previously. He liked to cuddle when sleeping. However, that was not in Adamah's plan because she felt very uncomfortable. It was too close for comfort. Liam held her there and said, "Don't move, babe. I feel so good holding you in this position. Please, go back to sleep," and kissed the back of her neck. Adamah woke up a couple of hours later to find Liam's left leg between hers. His arm was still relaxing on her waist. He was sleeping noiselessly behind her back. His breathing was steady, serene, and stress-free. Ostensibly, closeness was his delight, his comfort, and his utopia. It had been years since Adamah had slept in bed with a man cuddling. Sleep overtook her while relaxing in Liam's arms, sheltering her. Later, she disentangled herself and went to the bathroom. He entered right after her. When he came back, once again, they fell back to sleep in each other's arms. Afterward, he woke her up with his touch. Adamah lay down, her eyes closed in disarray. Liam faced her, reaching out to embrace her. He asked, "Are you okay, babe?" "I guess so. I want to rest briefly to think of what had just happened. Honey, relax. Don't be distressed, nor feel uncomfortable about what happened, it's okay." He took her hand and began playing with her fingers. She slowly disengaged her hand from him and said, "It's after 7, I'm going to shower and start breakfast. Don't get up yet, my love. Stay with me for a little while, I like being with you. Please, stay with me." He took her in his arms and cuddled together, finding solace momentarily. Suddenly, he felt a wave of apprehension about being married, but he felt right where he was, with Adamah, as if he belonged to her and to her alone. Adamah didn't pull away from his arms but began to think of Liam coming to her home. Was it simply to seek refuge there, even if for the time being, or would it be something else? Tico's words came echoing in her mind to spoil her mood, but she dismissed them. Tekoa should be the least in her mind because she didn't want to feel guilty or regretful. She felt peaceful, delighted, and content. "What are you wearing?" Liam asked. She looked at him questioningly. He said, "The fragrance you wear is alluring and smells heavenly. I like it." Is that so? It's symphony extract." "Yes. Did you say symphony extract? That's expensive stuff. I also like the one you wore the last time. You have expensive taste, I've noticed." He took her in his arms and once more sniffled her ear. "Stop, Tiger. Let me go. I have to make breakfast. If you are not hungry, but I am. Let's cuddle some more. Afterward, we'll take a bath together, not a shower, but a bath." Smiling, she said, "Seducing me earlier was not enough. Now you want to take full advantage of me. Honey, you don't know that the uproar, the contemplation, the anxiety, the disturbance in my entire being are murderous because you stopped me from being with you. I feel emotional, but I must leave this alone." Kissing his cheek, Adamah said, "Thank you, Tiger, I appreciate that. I'll go now. Do you want a particular breakfast?" "Just surprise me." He got up, held her hand, and then let it go. Bending her neck, she put a light kiss on his cheek. That gesture touched him deeply. Ada, don't tempt me," he said playfully. "I have an urge right now to put you on the bed and do what I wanted to do since last week." "And then what?" she asked. "What did you want to do?" Liam just smiled at her and said, "Be cautious, I'm warning you. You have no idea how much I long for you, for it's been a long time." Smiling, he asked, "Are you okay with how things are between us?" He felt so close to Adamah and yet so far. He slept in a bed with her without sleeping with her. Yes, there was a moment of weakness and an uncomfortable closeness between them in the early morning, but that was all. It would have been wonderful to be one, but Adamah's experience with Liam and her friends' voices overwhelmed her mind, and the moral obligation made her reluctant. She bounced back despite the accumulated emotions. Life was unfair to both. They needed the connection she had kept at bay. Without hesitation, she said, "But yes, of course, are you okay with that?" Liam just gave a slight smile. "Honey, I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to the other bathroom, and I'll be going into the kitchen afterward. If you feel hungry, come into the dining room 15 minutes later. Breakfast will be ready." "Ada is hungry?" he asked, joshing. "Yes, okay. I'm famished," he said with a voice laced with emotion and disappointment. "I'll be right behind you, babe." Adamah had no idea what Liam meant by hungry. Breakfast was put on the table. Moments later, Liam entered the dining room and took the same chair he'd always sat on. They started eating together. "I was hungry," he said. Adamah muttered, "Okay, start eating." He started with a boiled egg and then the fruit salad. She said, "Babe, may I ask you something?" He replied, "Yes. I've been thinking about you and your wife's relationship," she asked with a soothing voice, attempting to bring him to consciousness and seeking emotional feelings of some sort from Liam, hoping that she could unfold the real story of their marriage. "I think that there's something more to this story. I think it's deeper than what you have imparted to me. Perhaps you didn't want to tell me all the details about your marriage," she said passively. "So, what is the story?" Looking at her, he reflected on something for a moment, maybe on the past. He said, "Her inveterate laziness was not the sole problem, but something that is an anomaly." Adamah frowned. "But you were correct. There's more to the story. That was the reason that parted my heart from her. I didn't tell you because it was too embarrassing for me." He said, "I was joking with her one day and pushed her face playfully. She slapped me on the face and told me that it was the first and last time I touched her face. My mind was in shambles when she did that to me. It took some time for the burning sensation to subside. I said I was playing with her. Why did she slap me? She just sucked her teeth and walked away." Adamah looked at him at a loss. puzzled and confused about what he was imparting to her. There was mental as well as physical abuse in the marriage. That's unbelievable and shameful. He muttered, my parents had never put their hands on my face, but Anne slapped me. She didn't take my name, he said casually. A brother who recently came to the church didn't know my last name, but he had called me by her last name. That boiled my blood. Adamah was stunned. Wow, what was the reason behind rejecting your name? He shrugged and said, that woman always does whatever she wants. Moreover, I wouldn't say I like the demeaning way she speaks to provoke me. To her, I am there to provide for her needs, yet she doesn't think I deserve respect as her husband and the household's provider. As it stands, we might lose our house due to the high rates and mortgage payments. When we were building the house, she was meticulous about what she wanted. She chose everything high-end. The main bedroom has 3 walk-in closets. 2 his and hers is for shoes. She chose everything her heart desired, as if she were paying, or would assist with the mortgage payment. Adamah said, you ought to know the woman you've married and her expectations. At least your wife knew what she wanted and went for it. She also knew that you wanted to make her happy, so she selected the preferences of her heart. Don't get me wrong, Ada, it was when we moved to the USA, it was the commencement of our marriage. I thought she would work to help me pay the bills. She acted so caring and loving at the beginning, so I thought we would make it. His phone started ringing as he was about to eat a piece of fruit. He looked at the number, nodded, and stopped the call while putting the fruit in his mouth. His facial expression said it all. The phone started ringing again. He did the same thing, about to turn it off for the 3rd time. Adamah looked at him and at the phone. He ignored Adamah's tacit order and stopped the call. For the 4th time, reluctantly, he answered, hello. Is anything the matter so early in the morning? If you are sick, call an ambulance. If it's a fire, call the fire department. If it's anything else, call the police. He was about to disconnect the call when the caller said something that caught his attention, and he put the phone back to his ear. After a moment, he said very calmly, so, be it. I have been pleading with you to work, but to no avail. Do not you ever do this to me again. Please, enjoy house sitting as long as you want. That is all you've ever done. Adamah looked at him as if uttering, ouch, tacitly. He said, my wish is for you not to call me again. As always, you are disturbing my peace. He turned the call off. Adamah looked at Liam, and she knew without a doubt who the caller was. She continued eating breakfast. Looking at Liam, she asked, is everything okay? It is okay. Adamah agreed implicitly and gave him a satisfactory smile. He said, she called to tell me nonsense and shouted at me. I was about to disconnect. Knowing the call's destination was a battlefield, I did not want to start a war of estimates or disapproval with the woman. It would be controversial, given how our views differ on all that matters. Then she told me that my negligence and mismanagement of funds had led the bank to try to foreclose on the house unless I promptly paid a certain sum. How dare she open my mail? Not because her name is on the envelope gives her the right to open it, because she doesn't pay any bills. Adamah felt pity for Liam's impasse. How could the woman benefit from a house she lived in, yet lift not a finger to help with the expenses, and expect him to foot all the bills? He said, I hope she takes insurance for the vehicle she drives. I told her months ago that she was responsible for the insurance. Work is a bone of contention for her, so I created a plan to help her go to work and serve herself. She's still driving the vehicle. I hope she insured it. I wanted to teach her that evil never triumphs. She told me many times that the Bible says a woman's primary responsibility is to manage the home, while the husband's primary responsibility is to provide for the home. Therefore, each should do their part without complaint. Apostle Paul also says to the Thessalonians that if any would not work, neither should he eat. He looked at Adamah and said, I don't believe her audacity and her boldness. I came here to avoid these types of harassment and to be at peace with her. Like the devil, she called to disturb my peace, but I didn't let her and will never let her. Adamah's home had become a stronghold for Liam. Was that all there was between them? He needed a place to hide, so he chose Adamah's home. Would she rather compromise herself in a derogatory way just because she wanted him to be near her or because she wanted to succor him through his problems? Liam continued to eat breakfast as if nothing had happened. Perhaps he was used to that sort of thing happening at home, but it was strange to her. Adamah told her friends she knew what she was doing. So far, she had been intentional about seeing the lengths Liam would go to force his wife out of the house and out of his life. Removing Liam from his position at the church was as if throwing him to the enemy camp. Adamah should take swift action so that Liam didn't drag her down into the pit of hell with him. If she continued on this path, she would compromise her spirituality. Liam wove an incredible tapestry of his wife to Adamah, who didn't divulge her personal life to him. She didn't want to give him ammunition to attack her. He had deprecated and abused his wife verbally and mentally. Likewise, he would do to Adamah. Fortunately, she was heedful of all he said. He had proved that he had no respect for women. Or perhaps, he was attempting to compel Adamah to believe his fables. She could no longer aid his wrongdoing. As a woman, she would put a stop to his nonsense. Adamah needed to stop Liam from visiting her home so he could reconcile with his wife. Adamah learned over the years about human behavior, either through personal experience or indirectly, peeking into others' lives. People were always flawed. They would attempt to take advantage of others. They taught Liam at a puerile age that he would take advantage of if he showed love for the opposite sex. The result of their counsel was clear. Adamah was not a fool. She knew how some people operate too well. The day was ordinary. Everything seemed all right with Adamah and Liam. Her mind was overwhelmed as he tried to figure out what he was up to. Yet she was beginning to enjoy his company. Liam looked at her and asked, "Ada, are you okay? It seems that you have a lot on your mind." "What is it?" she answered. "I was considering more than I wanted to." "What about you? Are you okay, Liam? Will you be okay?" "Yes, Ada. I will be okay as long as we remain friends." He gazed at her and said, "You have become my best friend, Ada. I have discussed my marriage with you, but I haven't told my siblings what I've been through. They have an idea about what has been happening in my home. They knew she had never worked, but they didn't know the depth of my misery. One of my sisters, you know well, you know all of my siblings. I was thinking of visiting her the next time I come to see you. She lives out of state. I'd like you to drive me. We'll also visit another sibling on our way. They live in 2 different states but near each other." She gave him an implicit answer. He continued, "Before our reconnection, I dreaded going home, and I was downcast because I had no one to talk to about the situation. Moreover, I don't see a way out. In the cafeteria's church building, the brothers gather one night on the weekend. That was my escape." He smiled and said, "I wish we lived in the same city, but unfortunately, we don't. You know the distance between us, so I will not be able to visit you as often as I'd like." Adamah smiled and held his hand. She replied, "I understand. The trips are costly, and you have a lot on your plate. Whenever you want to express yourself, I'm a phone call away." After dinner, Adamah and Liam went to the living room to watch a movie before bed. At 9 o'clock, she said, "Liam, remember that we have to wake up early in the morning. I'm going to bed in another room. Before I go to bed, do you want me to get you anything in the kitchen?" He stood dumbfounded for a moment and said, "Not that again, my love. We've talked about this. I'm leaving in the morning. You want me to sleep alone? We slept in a bed before, so why not tonight? Don't you know the implications of this? We are walking toward quicksand, yet you refuse to acknowledge or avoid it. Don't you remember what almost happened this morning? If you seduce me again, I will not have the strength to withstand the temptation." She smiled and said, "We are waking up early. Please, go to bed," Liam said. "I want us to sleep in the same bed and cuddle with you as last night, so what's wrong with that?" Adamah looked at Liam and nodded. He said, "Yes, tell me, you've asked what's wrong with that. What almost happened this morning? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. You are married, Liam. You are not my husband. I have no right to sleep in a bed with you. I'm not asking for trouble, but trying to avoid it." Adamah looked at him and said, "You hurt me when you gave me yourself. I thought you were mine, solely mine, but you betrayed me. Now you are married. If I allow you to touch me and I get hurt, it will not be your fault but mine. Liam, the house has 3 extra bedrooms, and you can sleep in one." Liam smiled. Adamah added, since you like my bedroom, sleep there, I'll sleep in another. Liam said, please don't mention what happened a century ago. I promise not to hurt you again. But what about his wife? Liam said, let's go to bed, honey. He held her hand and walked with her in the main bedroom. He said, I promise not to touch you, love. Nothing will happen. Adamah said, I came to take my sleepwear. She entered the bathroom. Halfway to her shower, Liam stepped into the tub. Shocked, she jumped out. Liam said, come on, honey. We are not children, so stop acting like one. I don't want to touch you. I came to keep you company. I know, but I have self-respect. Liam, honey, if you want us to continue our friendship, please, respect yourself. She got out of the bathroom and left him there. Liam said, I apologize. I didn't mean to upset you, love. Stop being so childish. We are adults. I didn't think you would be so upset about that. A few minutes later, Liam came to the main bedroom, got her sleepwear, and knocked on the door. Adamah asked him to enter. Liam said, oh, you are here. The bed is cozy. Looking at him, Adamah nodded in frustration. He said, again, I apologize. I feel a profound sense of belonging when I'm near you. Please, don't send me away. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for part 7 of Adamah and Liam's love and retribution narrative.